Yo, so this may not look like the normal intro to a stream, but I am helping out the folks at IRO. It's race director duties, and we're just sitting here waiting to get stint 8 started. So stint 7 is currently airing on King Ear's channel. It's coming to a close soon, and we're looking at Scuderia, who is part of Team Transatlantic Racing in the 93 car, which is currently in the lead by about 20 seconds from Deputy Fishtails, who is part of Infinite Octane X Eclipse Racing in the 55 car. So just sit tight, and it'll be starting soon. Hey Core, hey Garrett. This is the last nerve-wracking moment for me as the race director. Just making sure everyone gets started. Keeping my fingers crossed for no disconnects either. But as you can tell, I am not racing. I am overseeing this race. So this is the exact same race that I did a couple weeks ago overnight as part of Split 1 for the Sector 7 Racing Mikuger team. And right now what's going on is Split 2, the next 14 teams that didn't qualify for Split 1. They are racing tonight. Looks like the leader's about to start his final lap. And then we should be getting going shortly here in stint 8. What's wild is though, the leader of the race from stint 7 has had his right blinker on for like at least 50 laps. I don't think I don't think he ever noticed. Oh, did he just turn it off? Oh man. Oh no, it's still on. It's still on. Hey. Welcome in, Edward. This thing is just about to get started. Maybe in another 30 seconds or so. The camera's focused on the leader right now as his teammate makes his way into the pits. So it should be any moment now. That's going all right, man. Just got to start a timer here as soon as they get started on this car, because there's somebody who's rejoining from a disconnect. So bear with me here. Okay, the timer is going. So 10 minutes and 58 seconds from when I just pressed that button. There's someone who I guess will end up being net 13th, who's supposed to be in there. So not going to be as dynamic with the camera controls quite yet. I just want to make sure that you know, people are coming out, getting their races started, and then I can chat with you guys a little bit more, you know. Looks like P2 is refueling now, so we'll see where they come out. So let's see. Everything looks kosher there. So it'll be another minute or so before the next car comes out. And when that happens, you know, I'll flip to them. But yeah, there was some intense action from, I think it was from like P5 to P8. They're all on the same lap, and for a little bit there, they were all within a couple seconds of each other. It was like kind of nose to tail. You didn't know like what was gonna happen. Not too many blue flag situations from what I saw, but you know, that could change in this one. I don't have chat reading in my ear, so I'm not going to turn it on until this thing gets started. Looks like P3's heading into the pits right now from stint 7, so I expect that somebody will start refueling pretty shortly here. But RJ, thank you for sending people. Truth, yeah, not last stint, but yeah, I heard earlier stints that they had some issues. Right now, the only person who's joining as a result of a disconnect in the last stint is Scorpion in the 911 car. So it looks like somebody's refueling now. See them coming out of the pits. Right into a blue flag situation. Wow. Right into it. That is not how you want to start your stint, but you know, not much you can do. We're gonna see somebody else refueling here shortly. I guess he'll see if he can get away from the P2 car, because they're just one lap down if they hold this off, I think. Leo, what's up, man? Good to see you. Okay, here comes P4. He's gonna make his way out. In the BMW, oh my goodness. Oh, good luck. Oh man. Cece, what's up, man? Good to see you, bro. Looks like P5 is making his way to the bus stop now. 4 minutes and 45 seconds off the lead. TK's, yo, you guys are up late, man. It's midnight. Having you guys here and chat with me will make the next 2 hours a little less painful for me. Can't speak to what tomorrow's going to look like. We're having visitors at home and whatnot. Play date with the kiddos, and I will be the guy. I'll be the dad sleeping on the couch. So this timer's just about to get to 5 minutes, so I don't want to forget to let Scorpion know when he can go. But the next driver's refueling right now. PRT Walter 784 in the 46 car, which, where are my notes? Where are my notes? The 46 car is Poison Race Team Endurance. I think that's what it is. Okay. And already Greta is out also. Medway Racing Leagues is out. So this is going to be the closest battle so far between P5 and P6 if he can make some gains here. P5 is using the... What car is this? It's so dark. He is in the Lexus. So it's not going to be an easy task, but on the infield, he'll certainly have an advantage. We'll go down to P7 and P8. They're both 15 seconds apart. Another Lexus. So a lot of Lexi out here. 15.7 seconds between him and Steve-O. Steve-O in the 910 car, which is Speed Buddy Racing. And then we're gonna... Which car we're gonna see next? Somebody's gonna be coming out. But yeah, once everyone's out of the pits, then we can well, I'll do one look throughout the entire grid, because I want to keep my eyes on how far apart or how far behind every car is from the leader, just in case something happens. But right now, knock on wood, literally knocking on wood, everything seems to be fine. Doesn't look like too many people are experiencing lag spikes. Everything looks smooth to me. Hopefully it looks smooth to them. I know there is a little bit of hiccups on the outlap, which you guys did not see, but yeah, so far not too bad. Good morning, Baba. All right, it looks like, yes. It looks like, ooh. This is RA1. Race Asylum 1, making their way out. And if I'm looking at this correctly, it seems as though Sector 7 Racing Phoenix shouldn't be too far behind. Although it's difficult to tell while I have the camera just on P9 and you can't really see all the way down to P14. Oh, there you go. Cold Trickle. is out. Oh, and about to get lapped by P5, unless he can get his way out. Damascus, can you see P1? Sure. I just want to make sure that everyone gets out of the pits first, and then we'll move around as you guys see fit. So just be patient with me a little bit. I'm not just streaming this just to stream it. I'm the race director for this stint, so I kind of have to take care of business first, and then I'll be sure to point the camera where you guys want to see. Appreciate you, bro. Okay, it's getting close. Minutes 58 seconds. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is get this chat message ready. He's got another just under 30 seconds before he can go. Okay. All right, he's going. All right. Oh, so that was the next major responsibility I had to make sure I took care of. Because his teammate disconnected in the last stint, so I had to make sure that he was good to go. 10 minutes and 58 seconds. Wow, that was a quick refuel. Okay, I understand what's happening here now. So we go to Scorpion. He didn't refuel nearly as much. Now we're looking at our friend here, PhD Salamander MN, who's streaming right now. If you want to see his point of view, I'm fairly confident he is streaming, so you can check that out. But yeah, we're just waiting for the last two to come out, then we'll cycle down the grid. Okay, it looks like they just came in now. So Salamander's probably is going to be on the same lap as Bradders and Scorpion. Provided, well, actually, it might be a little bit tight here. Should be getting started any second now. I'm looking at stint 7. Yep, there we go. And then last but not least, we have 10/10. Miss Devious is on their last lap right now, so Jolly Rancher is going to take over once they get in, and then we can get to the racing action. Okay, so that being said, can I have like a notepad plus tab, just like with notes of everything that I was supposed to do up until this point, and then everything that's supposed to happen like at the end of the race. I really just needed to make sure that I got through that because I didn't want to mess this up. So there you go. Thank you, RJ. How did you mess it up, Shadow? Okay, Miss Devious is coming into the pits now, so Jolly Rancher should be starting soon for 10/10ths. They're gonna have quite a bit of ground to make up, but you know, as Toon would say, anything is possible, right? You counted time after he left pits, not when they took fuel. So well, I mean, that's what is that? You had to give him back like 30 seconds or something. At least it's easily fixable, I feel like. Oh, they just came out behind a lap down. So we're gonna go right back to the front and take a look at Scuderia here. And I'm gonna close a couple windows because I got too many tabs open right now. It's crazy right now. And I don't need all of these because the race has already started. So I'm gonna close all this stuff out. Okay. So a healthy lead here. In fact, I think that lead has increased just in these 10 laps. I can't believe 10 laps are done already. That's how far along we are. In some of these circumstances, but you know, yeah, here we are. Okay, so let me cycle through the field if you guys don't mind. Let's take a look at here at Sierra on the number 55 car. I need my notes for this. Number 55 car, Infinite Octane. Sitting in P2. You know, strong showing from Deputy Fishtail, whom you all know from NRL. He was racing for them in the last stint. Steve-O here trying to unlap himself. Is he gonna make it happen? Lexus on Lexus? Doesn't seem like it. Not quite yet. But I'd be desperate to unlap myself if I were Steve-O in that situation. Taking a look at Skyline as he sets the fastest first sector thus far. Looking at these lap times, I don't know if it's glitched or not because obviously it shows that from P2, from lap 2 to lap 8, he pit every lap. That's not true, but those lap times might very well be true. Oh, Tid, thank you for subscribing. 1/10 up on the fastest lap, which is a 143.959. That is crazy. Some of these guys are setting lap times that are pretty good for even split one. So you know, shout out to Skyline right now. Ace RL, good to see you guys. Welcome in. This is stint 8 of IRO, round 1 for split 2. Man, the terminology. All right, let's take a look here at P4. The number 24 car driven by Man. Number 24 is DMR Endurance. It is the BMW. I will stay neutral and won't say anything about it. But yeah, he's kind of like in an island. He's on the same lap as Skyline in front. Quite a sizable gap behind. In fact, I don't even know how far it is. I'll have to go to P5 to see what that gap is. So 2 minutes and 50 seconds to the leader. And then looking at PRT, so he's got 2 minutes behind, so a lap between P4 and P5. So yeah, Walter's here, 4 minutes 50 seconds behind the leader, driving one of the 5,000 Lexi that everyone chose. Very popular car, man. Can't blame people for choosing it. Okay, 20 seconds behind him is Medway Racing. This is Irish Tony, but his GT7 name is Greta. So, you know, a little bit of a gap behind, a little bit of gap in front. P1 looks like he's making his way towards him, so you know he's not going to want to fall another lap behind. I do believe he's 2 laps behind, about to fall 3 laps behind. So then P7 looking here, another 14-second gap in the front. The 16 car, another Lexus. Nice livery though on this one. Very nice livery. And then 21 seconds behind him is Steve-O. So all of these gaps, so like I was saying before, it looks like from P5 to P8, all of these guys can eventually catch up with each other. You know, we've seen gaps smaller than this get expanded. We've seen larger gaps than this. Larger gaps than this come down. So, you know, it's still early goings here. We're 1/7 of the way through for most of the drivers. How many racers at one time? There are 14 racers. So there's 14 and then me and then one other person in the lobby who may or may not be streaming this also. Let's see here. Race Asylum, the number 9 car, Hansa, in the Vet, which is traditionally a strong car here. Very nice looking livery, man. Those neon colors, that's pretty dope, man. I gotta get in contact with who makes their liveries, because that could rival some of the guys we know around here, like Salamander, like RJ, like Shamsi, and whatnot. But you know, we gotta see what that's about too. Chris, hello. Hi, JP. You did it, JP. Nice. We gotta bring you into the fold, bro. Okay, now let's go over to Cold Trickle. Member of Sector 7 Racing in their Phoenix team. Healthy gap behind, not too much to be worried about, at least a lap. 32 seconds in front. So he's got a little bit of work to do, but like I said before, 30 seconds over a 2-hour stint is like nothing. If you run consistent laps, you can make that up for sure. And I know that he and Nuke and all the other Sector 7 racers are gonna be cheering him on, even if it's 12:20 a.m. in the morning on the East Coast. Looking at Bradders here. And another BMW. In the 777 car. Sorry, it took me a little while to get out. Team Rad. 11 minutes and 25 seconds behind the leader. But if you look at this right now, between him and P12, it's only 5.7 seconds. So this might be the battle to watch on track here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this, right? Because I just want to go through the entire field, and then we'll come back to this battle here for P11, see if it gets any closer. Look at Salamander, who's a minute and 12 behind, very early in the stint still, but you know, he's going to put his best foot forward, and I know Salamander is, you know, one of the faster guys out here. Is this a... Let's see here. A Porsche. Okay. All right. Underrated, that car. I think the fastest lap is in a Porsche, a 1:43.6. Honestly, oh man out here is running the same. I did stint 8 when I was doing split 1, and I think 1:43.6 was the fastest lap that I had. So, you know, kudos to oh man for, you know, laying down the 43s. I'm sure everybody's seeing that and they're like, what the heck is going on right now? How is this possible? Well, you know, if you do 1,000, 2,000 laps around here, anything is possible. Looking at P14 TT Jolly Rancher 10/10 Racing, banging livery right there. Number 10, good number. Unfortunately 14 minutes and 49 seconds behind the leader, but you know, we've seen crazier things happen, like disconnects. Not necessarily rooting for anybody to disconnect, because you know, I want a clean sheet here, but you know, if one happens, next thing you know, we could be talking about a battle for P13 maybe for 10/10ths. All right, so like I promised before, we're gonna go back to P12. No, that's P2, and it looks like that gap has opened up a little bit. Yeah. I compare the tires that they're using. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to talk about that. If I'm breaking any rules, let me know. I don't know that I'm necessarily revealing any crucial strategy here. So let me ask you guys in chat. What keeps you up at this hour? No worries, Miguel. So they are 11 minutes behind, because if I go to the leader, you'll see he's on lap 16. So it's when you see the lap counter there, it's just the lap that the person I'm looking at is on. There we go. There it is. There it is. Yeah. The wife's asleep, wife's away. I'm in the wife's asleep column. So it's nice to just be chilling in the basement. Don't have the pressures of racing myself anymore. Nice, JP. There it is. There it is. So it looks like when we last looked at Infinite Octane here, Steve-O was behind, so it looks like he managed to find his way past. I'm not too sure when that happened, but I think he has at least a couple laps to get himself out of range of the blue flag. So you know, that's always a concern when you unlap yourself. It's like, how long do I have to get away? As looks like gap is staying pretty steady between P1 and P2. Skyline is 1 minute 22 seconds behind, and it looks like Steve-O is doing a good job of trying to keep the distance up. Obviously I don't have any deltas, but just looking at it visually, it looks like he is getting further and further away every corner that passes. Granted, his tires probably have less wear because he started later, so less laps on the tires, a little bit of advantage there. Okay, so moving down to P3, Skyline here in the Porsche with O-Man behind. O-Man is setting the fastest lap. I'm just going to keep it here for a little bit just so we can see if that 47-second gap is coming down or not. This is the time you do your best racing. Nice. Oh, hello. We got a purple first sector here. Let's see what Skyline's got in retaliation to O-Band's 143.6, which is pretty impressive. I have to say it again. It's remarkable. And you know how I was saying before, I was like, people probably saw that 143.6 and they were like, what is going on? How is this guy this fast? I thought this was supposed to be split 2. Well, Skyline is like, hold my beer. I'll do you one better. Although he did lose a little bit of time in sectors 2 and 3 there. But you can make up a lot of the time here in the bus stop as long as you hit it right. But chief priority is making sure that you don't get a penalty there, which happens all too often for a lot of us. You have the fastest currently 43.4 in stint 3. Sector 3. Is that what you meant? Oh, sorry. You have a you have a 143.4 from stint 3, the fastest lap. So overall fastest lap. And stint 3, correct me if I'm wrong, that was in the daytime. Yeah, unfortunately I haven't seen every split. So you know, it's hard to say, but if Sky, you might be in danger here, Skyline, you know, if he's able to hook up sectors 2 and 3, which seem to be his weak points. You know, especially at night, but I think he got a little squirrely there on the exit. So yeah, it's looking like that little slip up kind of ruined that attempt at the fastest lap. However, O-Man here is ever so slightly gaining, ever so slightly. He's got he just got past lap traffic. Look at these lap times though. 144.1, 144.5, 144.7, 144.4, 144.3, and then back-to-back 143s. He's really coming to a groove here. It's been pretty good, pretty steady. 90 case, yeah. It's a tough ask. It's a tough ask, but you know, I think as long as I keep talking, then I won't collapse. Are these the aliens? There might be some within some of the teams, but the general thought is that split 1, the split that I was in, contains, let's say, 99% of those who most people would call aliens. There are a couple World Tour drivers, a couple people who are aspiring to be World Tour drivers this year, and then regular Joe Schmoes like me, just trying not to let the team down, you know? So another 144.3, pretty dang consistent. And look at here at PRT Walter with a 27.4 gap. Last time we checked here, I think it was roughly the same. I don't think I don't know, someone can fact check me on that on the DVR, but I think this has been pretty steady goings. He's managing the gap well, despite Irish Tony's best efforts. I'll cycle here through. Hold on. Guys, I think we got something. Here. We'll see. We'll keep it here. All the pressure for that P6. The P Steve on the line. As Greta goes wide. Now the question becomes, it seems as though there's a certainly a pace advantage here between this Lexus and the GTR, but how wide is Tony going to make his car here? Or is he going to go for the move right now? Late on the brakes, send it up the inside. Now it looks like the move is done, guys. Let's see if Greta can, you know, come back. Looks like he's trying, but he goes a little bit wide. He gets a little bit squirrely there, and yeah, it looks like that's done and dusted. We can take another look at that. Let's take another look. All right, so Greta there just trying to make his car as wide as possible. He's gonna have to pick a line soon. He takes the normal racing line, and that just kind of just leaves open the door for the Fasta Pasta Lexus of Martineo here. Yeah, and already it's up to 1.2 seconds, so he's on the move. I think we've got bigger plans here if we're on this team, the Vez racing team here. You probably have aspirations of getting into the top 5 before the end of the split, so that's totally possible here. Now looking at Steve-O here, and oh, that's a nice Panda on the livery there. In the Lexus of Speed Buddy Racing Team. Kind of been by himself for a while here. The last time we took a look at this situation is when we were looking at it from P2's point of view. And it was more so just a question of whether Steve-O could get away from Sierra there in P2, and it looks like in the time that we were away, he's managed to do that. But he's gonna have to keep that pace up for sure if he doesn't want to hand that position back in short order here. So a big gap between him and P9. Looking at Hansa for Race Asylum 1, the number 9 Corvette with JP's banging livery. Brakes heating up for sure. Yeah, she's just steady as she goes with mix of 145s and 144s. Doing pretty well on this stint. Fuel's looking pretty decent as well, although I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say any of that. Yeah, just little by little, you know, just pushing forward. But we have Sector 7 racing Cole Trickle, trying to close that 37-second gap. You know, with there being 51 laps remaining. You know, you'd think if he could take like 3/4 of a second every lap from here on out, he'd be on pace to catch him by the end of the stint. I'm sure his race engineer is in his ear crunching the numbers, letting him know all the situations. But yeah, that Aston Martin, you know, is terribly underrated. I'm surprised that more people aren't choosing that car, despite how well it did in split 1. Okay, so moving down the field here to Bradders here, 11.7 seconds ahead of Scorpion. Bradders here in the 777 Team Rad car, aka Scottish. And it looks like there's quite a bit of a blue flag situation here, double blue flag here that's incoming, it seems, for P14 for Jolly Rancher for 10/10 racing. Yeah, Bradders trying to get away from Scorpion as much as possible. Scorpion, who of course rejoined at my direction because of a teammate disconnecting in stint 7. in that Lexus. So, you know, if you're gonna pick a car to you know, get those positions back that you might have lost serving that disconnect penalty, this is the car to do it for sure. Just a minute and 5 seconds behind a Scorpion is PhD Salamander. MN is for Minnesota, one of Minnesota's finest livery makers, along with RJ Sugar Shuffles. He is on loan, normally a part of the Papa's House of Game team, but the Papa's House of Game team did not field a team for IRO this season. Perhaps they might look into that for next year, considering all of the members that they have, and they have quite a few resident aliens on that team as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see PhD proper in the 2026 IRO Gran Turismo Endurance Championship. But yeah, as it stands right now, he's sitting 1 minute 4 seconds behind Scorpion, and he's on loan. I forgot to mention he's on loan to Full Throttle Racing for this season. He is along with PhD Yeti, I believe, are both on the Full Throttle Racing team this season. So Salamander 12 minutes and 47 seconds behind the leader, with not much pressure behind. He's 12 minutes and 47 seconds behind the leader, and Jolly Rancher of 10 tenths is 15 minutes exactly. So that, you know, there's another lap between P13 and P14. So Salamander's not dealing with too much pressure, but you know, he does have a lot of ground to make up. Now we're looking here at Jay Sierra again, who's 32 seconds behind. He's going to go into the pits too, so he's not going to get a chance to try and overcut or anything like that. It seems like they're on similar strategies here. So as he's making his way into the pit, P1 is refueling right now and is shortly going to be coming out of the pits. So the next question is, what is it going to look like? It looks like for sure he's going to get out before Skyline in P3 gets there. Yeah, he's already at the next corner as Skyline laps Hansa here. So there's not going to be an opportunity quite yet to get yourself on the lead lap. Skyline has just a little bit more work to do. If he can catch Scuderia and get back on the lead lap, that would certainly be an accomplishment. But as it stands now, he's got to make up roughly 40 more seconds, right, to catch up. The lap around here is roughly 1 minute 45 seconds, unless you're oh man on the fastest lap. But speaking of oh man, I don't know if it's because of the fuel disparity or what happened here, or he must not have pit, because all of these lap times look like 144s, 145s. But he's only 5 seconds behind, so I think what's going to end up happening here is he's probably going to go into the pits, and then that gap is going to widen just a little bit more. Yeah, looking at P3 again. Yeah, so you know, it's the difference between having done a pit stop and not having done a pit stop yet. Looking at P5, quite the ways away, but you can see that the gap, I believe this gap between Walter and Madaneo was at 28 seconds the last time I looked. So that gap is steadily coming down. That might be a battle to keep you know, my eye on as this proceeds. But so far so good. So good so far. Sorry, it's late, guys. The terminology is escaping me as we approach 1 a.m. on the East Coast. But Walter is going into the pits. Martineo is 21 seconds behind. Let's see if he goes into the pits as well. 10 seconds, 10 and a half seconds ahead of Medway Racing League's Greta, aka Irish Tony. Let's see if he comes in as well. Yes, he does. So then P8 is a similar situation. So these are all the guys that, you know, I was talking about from P5 to P8. One slip up from any one of them and you can get yourself into a situation where you have some side-by-side action. And also look at the fuel disparity between P6 and P7 right now. You know, 5%, 5 liters. You know, that might make a difference here. Hey VKG, good to see you, bro. Thank you for dropping the like. And Tom, good to see you as well. Shocked you haven't seen a BMW Rapid unscheduled disconnect yet. Ooh. Yes, yes. How was date night? Oh, we don't need to look at the pits. We need to look at the situation here between Hansa and Sector 7 Cole Trickle. It looks like that gap, actually, it looks like Hansa has gained a second. So that gap seems to be going up. Not exactly what the Sector 7 folks would want, but definitely what the Race Asylum folks would want for their respective teams. What's so wrong with that? So you did your job, basically. So, okay, so 38 seconds, 39 seconds, you know, bouncing here and there. Let's look at Bradders now with a 14-second gap to Scorpion here. And 11 minutes, 34 seconds behind the leader. Sure. It's looking pretty steady. Here. Not too much going on. And then we'll check in with P13 Salamander MN. So this gap has gone from 1 minute 4 seconds the last time we looked to 1 minute exactly. So, you know, 4 seconds of progress there. You know, it might not seem like it's coming very quickly, but over a 24-hour race, you know, you gotta take what you can get, especially given the competition level here between racers. And then going back to the front, Scuderia with a 30-second lead. The last time we checked in was maybe 10 minutes ago. It was at a 32-second lead, if I recall correctly. Again, you can feel free to fact check me on the DVR function in YouTube, but it's, you know, it's he's holding on to it. And, you know, between P1 and P2, I gotta say that depending on the stint, you may see a change in the lead. You may not. Last stint, I know for a fact that that the 93 car was in second, and they did do an overtake. They started, or at least when I was looking, they started maybe like 25 seconds back, and then they ended up 30 seconds ahead. So, you know, 55-second swing over the course of a stint is possible. So, you know, if I were in the 93 car, I'd be thinking, get this lead as far ahead as possible, man. Get this up to 1 minute if you can. And likewise, if I was in the number 55 car, which is chasing them, the Infinite Octane and Eclipse Racing car, I'd be like, okay, make some progress. Get this down to like maybe 20 seconds if you can before the next scheduled pit stop. and just chip away at it, because this is stint 8. We still have 4 more stints after this, 8 hours of racing after this. So 30 seconds is literally nothing. And unfortunately, I've seen the heartbreak of a 30 plus second lead being withered away. As my team in split 1, the S7R B Cougar team that I'm on loan to, we had I want to say it was like a 30 something second lead to the team behind us. Oh man, it's escaping me right now. Hold on, I'm gonna find out, because I gotta tell this story accurately. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, Salus Moose Racing was 30 to 40 seconds behind us going into the final stint. We had one of our best drivers in Banana, closing things out for us, and he was setting really good times, consistent 43s, high 43s, rarely dipped into the 44s, and we still got caught. Loose Moose Racing, their final driver was Manu Rodri, a former World Tour driver, and just with like maybe 5 laps to go, they caught us. They took P5 away from us. So, all that to say is that, Scuderia here, don't want to get too comfortable. Definitely do not want to get too comfortable. It may be good to maintain this 30 second, and now it's actually going up to 31 seconds. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe he heard something, decided to, hey, put a little bit of extra pace in. But it may be comfortable right now in this stint, but something could happen in a later stint. So you definitely want to build up that lead. Another Sector 7 anecdote was about their esports racing team, which from top to bottom it seemed like they were on pace to win this thing, but they suffered 3 different disconnects and then ended up finishing P2, which is actually still quite an accomplishment considering how many disconnects that one team had suffered. But yeah, you can see it's balancing between 30 and 32 seconds at any given point. So I didn't even notice this here. Okay, so before I was saying that Skyline here is definitely wanting to unlap himself from P1. He did it from P2, and I think at the time I was saying something like because the timer was saying like 2 minutes and 20 something seconds. Phoenix, I think Phoenix Stig is in P9, P10, with 30 seconds behind P9. But yeah, I'll quickly check on that. Yeah, it's been hovering at 38 seconds, 37, 38 seconds. So there hasn't been too much in terms of inroads for Phoenix to catch Race Asylum 1, but I do want to hop back to the deliveries are dope. But P3 here, this is like this is what you're dreaming of if you're on the same team as Skyline here in the Porsche, the number 2 Porsche, which is IRO V2. Right, you definitely want to get yourself unlapped here, and if you're in the slipstream of Alexis, you're gonna be increasing your gap to Oman. Although the last time I looked at this again, it was at 47 seconds. Now it's 46 and a half with the slipstream, so it must be like turbulent air in the infield and slipstream to get yourself back right on the long straights of the oval here. But yeah, certainly is. You know what I should do? I should take some notes here on what to go back for. So, Mike, this is a league, but there's no payment that you have to do. This is a year-long competition of endurance races that go from February until November, I believe. Let me pull up the calendar. Let me pull up this calendar. Yeah, I mean, listen, if they want me to do it again, I'll do it again. Maybe not at midnight, but I would love to get Split 2 some exposure. It's understandable, right? It takes a lot of effort for the official IRO broadcast to happen, right? There's a lot of moving parts there, especially to do things as seamlessly as they do. And I'm talking about like moving in between splits, like you see one split end and then you go into the next split, all in the same broadcast, which was an upgrade from the first year. But yeah, sorry, Mike, I got a little sidetracked there. But yes, there are B drivers, there are C drivers who are racing today, who are racing right now as part of teams. But yeah, you would just join the IRO Discord and then go to the teammate finder, and then either you get picked up by a team, or at the beginning of 2026 when everybody's enrolling, you can form your own team. There's qualifying to get into Split 1. So there's 14 Split 1 teams that were racing here a couple weeks ago, and then this is Split 2, which is the next 14 teams. But I don't believe that there wasn't a qualifying that was a pre-qualifying that was necessary to get into this. But I have a feeling that this league is gaining a lot of steam, there might be qualifying for Split 2, and they might have to beef up their staff and get a Split 3, because I feel like the Gran Turismo Endurance Championship is not going anywhere. It's definitely the best endurance league that I've seen, and the folks at Esports Race Asylum have, really they've laid out the blueprint on how to organize such a massive amount of people. Like, if you're talking about like just the size of the Discord that they have, of course it's not showing up here. We're talking about hundreds of people that you have to manage, that are all participating, that all have questions, and then whenever something as unfortunate as a disconnect, which knock on wood has not happened in this stint yet, there's a lot of stuff that needs to go into making sure that people can rejoin at the right times. Obviously, there's stewarding, right? Because we want to keep the racing clean. So a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, and kudos to them. So yes, it's a free to join league. But if you're looking to form your own team, unfortunately, you're gonna have to wait until 2026. If you're looking to get picked up by a team, just join their Discord. And yeah, I mean, I was mentioning before, oh man, who's currently sitting in P4. Oh, actually, we might get a move here. Yeah. I mean, you know what? What I'm gonna do here, because I don't know that I have the link for their Discord. I'm gonna put the link to my Discord, or hopefully it'll show up. No, it will not show up. Oh man. All right. Well, there it is. Okay, I'll put the link to my Discord, and then you can join mine, and then I'll give you I'll just remind me to give the link to theirs, unless somebody in chat already has it. And then you can click theirs and see what it's all about. But yeah, it's definitely super exciting. And the round 2 at Bathurst, I believe, is next weekend, right? So, you know, if you want to see more of this, you want to see, oh my goodness, is the move happening right now? Let me see this. See, if I was Scuderia, I don't know that I would be really messing with this too much. I think I would just let him go, because, you know, this is not your battle, right? This is not what you're fighting for. You're fighting to stay ahead of P2. There it is, Stick. Thank you. Yeah, so you can just click that IRO Discord link, and then you know, go to the teammate finder, just introduce yourself and see if someone's willing to pick you up. I know that was the case with Salamander MN. He wanted to join. He got picked up by a team, and he's racing tonight, actually right now. I haven't moved the camera around because I just want to see if Skyline is able to actually get this done or not. Is he gonna make a move into the bus stop? Wait, what just happened? Oh, okay, there's the other car. He tucks back in behind. Definitely don't want to get a penalty here, but you definitely want to get a good exit. You know what, the Lexus seems like it's too good in a straight line. He's gonna have to make this overtake done on the infield. So I'm gonna cut away just for a second here, okay, because I gotta get the gap times. So after turn 1, I'm gonna cut away and just quickly flow through the gap times, and then I'll come right back to this, because I gotta make sure that I keep track of, you know, what the gaps are. So apologies for that. 2 minutes 31, 4:47, 5:03, 5:48, 6:09, 7:50. 8:31. Yes, they are slower in a straight line. 10:58, 12:11. What is going on here? What happened here? What is? Okay, so we gotta bounce around between this battle between P3 and P1. Oh, it looks like he got by. Let's see if we can catch it. Did we catch it? Oh, we missed it. Oh no. Okay, sorry guys, we missed it. So let's check on this right here. Salamander started in P13. He got himself up to P12, I believe. So I'm not too sure what happened here with Scorpion. Night, Tom. Thanks for stopping in. Wannabe, good to see you again, bro. Good night, Shadow. So we're gonna stay here with this battle, because I don't think I don't think we're I'm not sure, right? He definitely lost a lot of time. Oh, you look at this. Okay, I'm gonna see if this is a glitch or not. Look at lap 23, a 2:04. Lap 24 is a 2:07. Lap 25 is a 2:03. So something is telling me that he had to do back-to-back pit stops. Maybe he forgot to refuel, and that's what cost him the time. Who? These two, or are you talking about P1 and P3? And speaking of, let's check in on this. So it looks like Scuderia definitely let him go, but he didn't lose too much time. He's still like 31, 32 seconds ahead of P2. So he certainly could be further ahead if he just let Skyline go. But Skyline is making moves now. He's trying to use the rest of this time to cut his team down to just half a lap behind. And you know, you look at P3's gap to P2, and that, you know, that's coming down as well. And he's got 2 cars in front here. Not sure which 2 cars these are. I'll just have to see when he gets closer. Oh, it's P3. Okay, so Skyline here is catching up on this battle between Scorpion and Salamander MN. So the battle that we were just looking at is about to get interrupted here. We'll cut to Scorpion right now and see how he's going to handle this. He's definitely been gaining little by little, but I think the dirty air is certainly affecting him. But soon he's gonna have to get out of the way, as Skyline right there is trying to keep himself from being re-overtaken by P1. So we have a P12 in front of P13, who doesn't want to get lapped by P3, who doesn't want to get lapped by P1. So this is quite a blue flag situation, and I think Skyline is close enough now that he might have to just get out of the way. And that's unfortunate because, he's right there with Salamander MN. And, as he moves out of the way, he's going to lose that valuable slipstream, but maybe he can tuck right back into Skyline's slip. Doesn't seem like he's moving yet. But Skyline also hasn't flashed him as far as I've seen. They go into the bus stop. Oh, that doesn't look like... Oh, that's not a very good... Oh, that was not a very good bus stop by Salamander, but it seems like Scorpion made a mistake also. But yeah, okay, so Scorpion is taking the high line, so Skyline can get through. But, okay, the Porsche finally gets through. That Porsche does not have good straight line speed, so you can see right here, he really had to let off in order to let Skyline through, just because the Lex has so much better top end. Yeah. Yeah, so if we look here from the rear view, there's P1 right there, Scuderia, right, who was trying to hold up Skyline for a little bit there, and then I guess either through a mistake, or he decided, it's not the battle that he's trying to do. He's trying to increase the gap to P2, which last we looked was 32 seconds. Now it's still hovering around 32, so Scuderia is not losing too much time here. The 93 car still has a little bit of a gap there. Sure, we could take a look at P5. We haven't looked at Poison Race Team Endurance for a while, and as you can see in front and in back, there really isn't too much going on. This gap here between him and P6 is really sat steady the entire race, right? We're halfway through the race, and I feel like it hasn't deviated by any more than plus or minus 2 seconds. Plus or minus 2 seconds from what it is currently. So, a good race here so far, but, even more so than the distance between P1 and P2. This is something that, if I'm on the Poison team, I want to get that gap up as much as I can in this split to, have an easier handoff to, my partner waiting in stint number 9. And if we're looking at the Lexus here of Montaneo, obviously it's the exact opposite, but look at these times that he's been setting, right? And he still hasn't been able to, close the gap. These times are pretty good, especially for split 2. These are solid split 1 times: 144.3, 144.4, 144.3, 144.0, 144.2. Everything's super consistent ever since lap 29. So, and it looks like this lap is on pace as well to, to get to that. So, like, we know that this lap is already on pace for, probably close to, it's 3/10 down. So we're looking at another low 144, because you can see lap 33 is a 144.0, and that's not his best lap. So he probably has a couple 143s, already logged, but we can't see those because Gran Turismo doesn't allow us to see those. But let's see as he makes his way around the oval. what this lap is going to be. I'm going to predict a 144, another 144.4 here. Let's see how if I'm on the nose or not. Not quite 144.6, but again, seriously good laps, seriously good consistency. Just so happens that P5 is also very consistent. Now looking at Steve-O here. Steve-O, wait a second, the last time we looked at him, he was in P8, so he overtook somebody to get to P7, and currently he's trying to unlap himself for P2. So we have another situation here, right? Just a little while ago, P3 was trying to unlap himself from P1, and Scuderia put up quite a fight to get Skyline. If I'm Jay Sierra, I do not want to make that same mistake. Steve-O has been setting a blistering pace here. Unfortunately, his team's going to need to do that another 2 times to get back on the lead lap. But, you know, if I'm Sierra, I'm not fighting this at all. This is not my race. Steve-O appears to have the superior pace right now. I'm letting him through. Well, when we raced here a couple weeks ago in split 1, almost all the teams did a 2-stop strategy. So we split the stint into three sections, and then did two pit stops, and that's what worked for us. I've seen a mix of that, as well as some teams using mediums, some teams going a 1-stop. As Steve-O has his windshield wipers on. I don't even know what the button for that is, but it's unfortunate because for Steve-O, it's not like he can flash his lights and say, "Hey, get out of the way." He's a lap down, so even if he's faster right now, he's gonna have to get this overtake done on merit. Let the Panda eat. Yes, Panda Express. He's trying to get this position with the quickness. And it looks like, yeah, right now you can see a little bit of a wiggle coming out of the bus stop there, you know. The wind is a tailwind coming out of the bus stop, 12.6 feet per second. I have no idea what that means in terms of miles per hour. That is the worst type of measurement. I've said it before. This is the worst type of measurement for anybody to like understand what the significance is of that if you use imperial units. Feet per second is not great. Yes, we gotta find out who made this one as well. But yeah, okay, so now we're coming up on a blue, a unique blue flag situation. P11 is there in front of P2. Okay, as we go toward the next sharp right-hander, one of the more difficult braking corners. So, you know, P11 is going to have to get out of the way for P2 and for P7. So if I'm Steve-O here, I'm trying to close this gap down as much as possible, so that way I'm right behind Jay Sierra as we make our way. Ooh, that's a little close to the yellow line, but as we make our way towards the bus stop here. It doesn't look like it's going to happen here, but definitely want to nail the bus stop, close it in a little bit to P2, so that way in one motion P11 can get out of the way for both the drivers instead of slotting back in. That would be disastrous for Steve-O's chances to get this unlapping done if this ends up happening in the infield. So we'll see how that plays out. Looking at P8 here, pretty healthy gap behind to P8. Been sitting steady, 31.8, 32 seconds about for the vast majority of the race here. This is Irish Tony here, I believe, in the number 8 for Medway Racing League. So yeah, he's just doing his thing, just looking to hand it off. Thank you for deploying that like, B. Good to see you. So yeah, and then quite a sizable gap behind, so 6 minutes 20 seconds to lead. P9 is 7 minutes 30 seconds, so it's okay, so it showed up there 1 minute and 31 seconds, so it's almost a lapping situation here between P8 and P1, as P9 just gets the overtake done. I'm not too sure what the situation was with a Salamander there. I'm not too sure what the situation with Salamander was there, but he just missed out on an opportunity to stay, not on the lead lap, but at least 1 lap ahead, or 1 lap closer to P9. So he's gonna have to try and get that back in the Porsche, which is very difficult on the oval section of the track, because that Corvette is pretty much second to none in terms of the cars that people have selected on this portion of the track. Now, the last time we also looked, Salamander was ahead of Scorpion, but has since fallen back. Oh, and that might be another penalty. Let's see if he was able to keep it on track there. No, unfortunately, another half-second penalty for Salamander, but something must have happened. Maybe he pit early, right? So he just came out of the pits on this lap, which is lap 35 into 36. And P12 has not pit yet. So we're gonna see we're gonna see a situation here where Scorpion is gonna pit 1 lap later. Or no, his tires are looking good. So when did something? Oh, you know what it is? They're on different strategies. That's what's going on here. So Salamander coming into pit on lap 35 and 36, which would either indicate one of two things. Either he had a problem and he had to come into the pits again, or he's on a 1-stop strategy as opposed to a 2-stop that everyone else is on. So we'll have to see how that plays out, because he's a little bit more than a pit stop behind P12, but he is trying to catch little by little. Remember that this gap was 1 minute and 4 not too long ago, and now it's down to 48. So if Salamander has no pit stops left to do, then Scorpion might be in a little bit of trouble come the next round of pit stops. Now, looking at P14 here, Jolly Rancher, just to cycle our way through the grid. Actually, looks like they're closing in on P8. Was it there? Yeah. So maybe an opportunity to unlap themselves. Looks like well, if that's the case, then that is tragic. We'll have to keep an eye on that just to see, even if that's the case, does he plan to pit yet again? As we get to maybe 2/3 race distance. Now looking at this, this is P8 that's in front here. So but the aero reduction, it doesn't seem like the GTR is lacking too much on straight line speed, but it does seem like Jolly Rancher is starting to close in as he gets a little loose at the exit of turn 1 there. Now going into turn 4, or let's just call it legitimately like turn 2, because that little chicane isn't really too much there. But Jolly Rancher seems to be trying to find a way through to get themselves back in the game, so to speak here. Now, neither P8 nor P14 are on the lead lap, but the game now for 10/10ths is to just find a way to get to P13, try to fight for P13, whereas for P8 you're really just trying to hand it off to the next stint here, and give yourselves a chance at fighting with Steve-O here, who's in P7. Right now, Steve-O, this entire race has been on fire. He's unlapped himself from P2, from P1, I think, overtaken P8, closing on P6. He's been doing some work. So, you know, salute to him. It seems like this situation with P11, P2 that we were taking a look at before has kind of cleared itself up. He's still trying to chase P2 though and get that overtake done. Sure. So that would require us looking at P2. So P1 is 33 seconds ahead of P2 here, J Sierra. So J Sierra, he does. Again, if Steve-O gets close, I'm not fighting it. I'm letting him go if he has that much of a pace advantage, because two things: want to catch P1, also want to get away from P3. And Skyline, despite O-Man having the fastest lap of the race, or fastest lap of the stint, Skyline has really been the one who's been overtaking everybody. He's unlapped himself from P2, unlapped himself from P1, is back on the lead lap, and is charging. So you really don't want any obstruction here if you're in that situation. So 1 minute and 1 minute and 41 seconds we're looking at approximately here between P3 and P1. So if we look at P3, we can probably see that in the rear view, as we go through corners, you probably see the headlights there. That car right there is likely P1, just about 5 seconds, let's say, behind. So that blue flag warning is going to pop up every so often, but as is the case in Gran Turismo 7, it tends to pop up a little bit too early. You know, he's miles away before P1 gets to that corner. And you can see just slowly but surely that Porsche is whittling that time down. Definitely looking like it's going to be under 1 minute before handing over to stint number 9. So Skyline definitely charging. And Scuderia just hanging tough, hanging tight. Going through the bus stop, getting the laps done. I think at this stage of the race, it's, you know, you definitely go from, okay, let's extend the lead as much as possible or close the gap as much as possible, to really don't mess it up, right? Don't crash, don't get damage, right? Don't rack up the penalties. Get through the stint safely. There's still 8 hours of racing left as Scuderia comes into the pits, likely for the last time, for their second pit stop. So they're on a 2 pit stop strategy. If we go back here to Sierra, who's on the same lap with lower amount of fuel here. Let's see if they come in as well. Making their way toward the front straight with Steve-O and Bradders behind. Yes, and they come back into the pits. Yeah, it looks like Skyline comes into the pit. Skyline did not go into the pits yet, but he's about a minute behind. Looking at Steve-O, he's got a lot of clear space in front. He gets out just before P1 gets out of the pits. If we look at P1 again, right behind P4. Oh man. So looking at this situation, oh man is going to have to yield the spot unless he can get away really quickly. Now, oh man has been setting the timing screens ablaze this race, but it's kind of just unfortunate where he finds himself right now, because if he has to give that position up, it's going to be so much more difficult to get that spot back. Again, you know, I'm just ignoring the fact that they chose BMW. It's okay, you know. He's doing well with it. Shocked, to say the least, that you know, it's doing this well, because, you know, a team that had the BMW and actually kind of struggled in round 1 from split 1 is the Overboost Racing team, the champions of 2024. They found themselves, you know, a couple laps down when it was all said and done. But it's not exactly the, you know, the expectation that you would have coming into the season as defending champions. Now, again, the caveat here is last year we just used the standard BOP. We did not have the ability to change any of the aero settings, and this year we did. So, you know, it becomes a completely different ball game when you're running minimum aero setups like these tend to be at a track like this. But you may find that starting next week with Bathurst, and especially as we go on towards tracks that have, you know, a lot more corners, you know, or shorter lap times, that you know, adding a little bit more downforce on the front and the rear of the cars, you know, can have drastically different effects. So at a track like this where the Lexus seems to be dominant, the BMW might be dominant somewhere else. That's why you can't get too tied up with the results of a single race. Now I'm trying to see what battle that is behind here. Okay, it's a little bit of a situation here. So we have P14, P11, P4, and who's in front of P14? P8. Okay, so we have P14 trying to unlap themselves from P8 before P4 catches them, right? P11 trying to unlap themselves from P4 while also trying to lap P14. So we have quite the complicated situation here. P14 is going to get through on the low line and give themselves a couple of laps to get away from the entire field. But this is, you know, this is what I'm talking about, where you definitely want to, you know, still pursue. If you're faster than a car that's in front of you, you still want to get yourself unlapped, because you get quite a significant amount of time to get away from the field. So, like, hopefully, you know, they can get away before, you know, P4 gets into the picture. So P4 is going to, you know, make P8 get out of the way and start charging towards P14. Although it doesn't seem like it's going to matter, because P8 has a penalty here and it's got to serve. So P4 is going to go through. P11 is going to go through. Oh, and they're going right into the pits. So P8's into the pits. So that kind of resolves the situation there, but it was kind of complicated situation here, you know, as P11 is making their way back to the two of these guys. So Jolly Rancher is going to have to get out of the way for not one but two drivers. And who do we have here in front? P7. So P7, Steve-O, just completing his last pit stop. He's going to have to get out of the way too. And then P11 and P14, they're going to be chomping at the bit to try and get past him, make up some ground. So quite an interesting situation here. You got to be aware of the blue flags and who's around you. You know, who do you yield to? Who do you fight? Steve-O's definitely gonna have to let O-Man through, but he's gonna want to fight everybody else. So you see he has the blue flags there. As the sun starts to come up. Stint 8 is pretty unique in that regard, where you know, the time of day tends to pass by. We should be seeing the sunrise by the end of this stint, as I do believe it begins at midnight and ends in early dawn. So, you know, the lights at the end of the tunnel, literally, or lights on the horizon, whatever you want to say. So we're looking here, and there goes O-Man down the inside. He's gonna want to tuck back in here. Now if he can overtake him again, you know, if he can overtake him again and does, then he buys himself a couple of laps to get away. So, you know, I wouldn't just give up on this just because, you know, you had to yield to the blue flag, especially when you got guys like Bradders and Jolly Rancher behind you who are trying to unlap themselves. If they get past you, they have 3 laps to to get away, and that's 3 laps that you just have to sit and deal with it despite there being a blue flag. So you want to be the first one to unlap yourselves. You definitely want to get past P4 before P11 gets past you, if for nothing else but for that reason. Okay, so let's check in on some other situations here. We know where P4, P11, P14. We know where they are on track. We know that this Lexus here is doing well. Thank you, Silver. Okay, so Cole Trickle of the Sector 7 Racing Phoenix team is in a situation, right? He's getting himself now involved with this little squabble between P3, Skyline, who's still trying to get away, and P1, a Scuderia, who's, you know, just trying to keep his distance, and he's done so wonderfully so far, right? That gap since, let's say, 1 hour ago, 1.5 hours ago, has remained steady. Never dipping too far in either direction, never dipping below 31 seconds, or I should say never dipping below 30 seconds, never going above 35. Scuderia is held steady even when Skyline was challenging to unlap himself. He managed to not lose too much time, right? Because this is his race. P1 and P2, this is their race. Right, there's 30 seconds, and that can be made up by any one driver in any particular stint. So there's no need to, you know, necessarily fight with Skyline right now. He's on the lead lap, but barely on the lead lap. You can see Skyline's there. P1 Scuderia still within sight. So one mistake, a couple of penalties, an incorrectly taken bus stop. You know, I've run into situations, I've seen it, I've done it, where you take the bus stop incorrectly, you get all 4 wheels, nothing's touching that last triangle, or, you know, 2 of the triangles of the 4 in the bus stop, and you end up with a 1.5 second penalty. 1.5 second penalty here hands P1 back the position. And I shouldn't say position, I should say you end up falling a lap behind. And Skyline is certainly responding to that as he sets a purple sector 1. So let's stick with this, see if we can get a new fastest lap here. You know, oh man has been you know, holding on to that 143.6 for I gotta say at least like 35 laps now. So let's see if as he comes out of sector 2 what we're looking at. Yeah, so not a particularly strong sector 2. Which is surprising because you kind of have like sort of a headwind, but a crosswind that goes from right to left as you approach the second to last corner in the infield, right? So that should make stopping a little bit easier. But the last corner of the infield, the last left-hander, where you have to be a little bit easy on the accelerator as you come out, there's really a lot of potential time lost there. If you get on the power too early and the car starts to wiggle a little bit, or if you're a little bit too cautious, you just, you know, bleed time away. But with that being said, it does look like he is making gains here on Cole Trickle, so Cole Trickle's definitely going to want to step it up a little bit here. And a fresh set of tires. I know they might be cold, but you know, it's been a lap now, so maybe it'll start to warm up and he can try to prevent himself from being lapped again by the Porsche of Skyline here. So let's check on some people we haven't checked in on in a while. We have Salamander MN, who, like I said before, right? So about 10 laps ago, lap 35, lap 34, lap 35, lap 36, somewhere around there, he was in the pits, and you know, it was a little bit confusing because most people were on a 2-stop strategy, right? And it looks like right now, right, based on what I'm seeing, right, that he has not pit again. So like Scorpion, he just came out of the pits. He's 7 seconds behind Salamander, right? And I know for a fact that he pit twice. Salamander, I've only seen pit once. So this is going to be the test right here between P12 and P13 of which strategy might be better, the one stop or the two stop. Now, granted, Salamander is in the Porsche, which is the car that, you know, is traditionally a little bit easier on the tires, and Scorpion is in the Lexus, which is traditionally pretty bad with the tires, especially the fronts. So, you know, we'll see if Scorpion can, you know, use that Panda power of that livery to get the Speed Buddy team in front of the Full Throttle Racing team, of which Salamander represents tonight. As you can see, the sunrise come up. It's so beautiful, man. It's so beautiful. Yes, Panda. Surprised they don't have like a decal of designer. Is tuning hard to understand? You know, I think you have to be like deliberate about trying to understand what certain things do. Right? You can't just go into it and just be like, oh, okay, you know, I have no idea what anything means, but if I just change a number somewhere, I'll go faster. I think it's worth, you know, really using the guide that the game gives you. Actually, there's Beyond the Apex. There's Beyond the Apex, which goes into a significant amount of detail about what things do. Right, and then, you know, there's plenty of videos out there that kind of explain it in a way that's a little bit easier to digest. But I would say that if you limit your tuning, it can be relatively easy. But if you go like full scale into it all at once, you might find yourself in a situation where you change a bunch of things and you don't know actually what helped you and what hurt you. You know, the process of tuning is relatively time consuming if you have the entire thing opened up, right? Because you can change ride height, you can change front arrow, rear wing arrow, right, for downforce generation. You can change your the natural frequency of your suspension springs. You can change the dampeners. You can change the differential, which, you know, has everything to do about how the car responds under braking and accelerating, and, you know, the difference in wheel speeds on the inside and the outside of the car, right? So obviously you can change things like the front and rear ride height, right, which has also an impact on straight line speed and downforce generation, right? So, you know, there you can tweak with a lot of things, not everything, right? Because there are some other games that allow you to tweak even more, and also give you a lot more information. But, you know, I would say that it can be easy if you approach it right. So what IRO is doing this season, for example, is they've opened up tuning, but they've limited it. Right, Mike. Yes. But yeah, so then, you know, there's that, and then, you know, that's track specific, right? So you may have it working generally good, but then it could work better on some tracks than others, right? So then you get into situations where you have to create a tuning sheet, right? Where we got a little situation here between P2 and P4. You have to create a tuning sheet where you know, one might be named Daytona and the other might be named Bathurst, right? But yeah, what IRO has done here is they've opened up tuning, but they've only opened a small subset of tuning, right? Which I think is a good gradual step, right? They've taken a bunch of cars, allowed the teams to pick certain cars, and then they've opened up the downforce of the front the front and rear aero, right? You can increase or decrease the downforces. Jay Sierra goes wide here, and it looks like the overtake is done here. So Sierra not with the most optimal situation here. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. So as they come into P2, this is exactly the situation that you didn't want to run into. So, it could be a positive or negative. The negative is that you definitely went off on turn 1. And traditionally, if you go past that white line, you earn yourself a penalty. But the good news is that P4 went by and... Oh, no. See, okay, so he's tucking back into the slipstream. So, but if he's trying to overtake him again, it's gonna be quite the situation here. This is exactly what you don't want to be doing, right? For reasons such as catching P1 and staying away from P3. Now, again, in this race, Skyline in P3 has unlapped himself from P2 and from P1. So he is on the lead lap, deep in the lead lap, but on the lead lap, right? So if you're Sierra, you don't want to do anything that jeopardizes your chances of not only capturing P1, but securing P2 for, a good amount of points early on in the season. So, Wannabes, interesting, you've been tuning cars for drift and drag racing, but in things like road courses of various tracks, there's more to calculate. Yeah, there certainly is. It's definitely time consuming. More time consuming than I care to do personally, but, that's just my personal opinion. Things that I like about this game is that you can just hop in and just drive and click a couple buttons and you're going. But it's nice that they have the ability to really dive deep and set up cars that you really like the way that you really like to drive, right? So there's the car culture aspect, and then with things like this, there's like the esports kind of aspect, right? You don't have to just participate in Gran Turismo World Series to have a good time here, right? You can do endurance racing with IRO. You can join other leagues like GTC or the Medway Racing League or the NRL or the GTPHD World Series, right? There's a whole bunch of these. Sector 7 has their own league, right? So especially if you're tired of the monotony of daily racing and the potential dirty drivers, let's say, of all of that, like league racing is definitely where you want to be. As we look here, I am glad that I decided to take a look at this situation, because we have some last minute action here, right? Martinello has closed the gap significantly over the course of this race and is now challenging for P5. This is what it means. This is what it means to be in a long race and be able to... Oh, as he does go a little deep there. He does go a little deep there. But he gets the move done. What a send into the bus stop, but he doesn't get the best exit. And he's going to be under attack, right, as they go onto the main straight. It's Lexus versus Lexus, so, PRT Walter here is definitely gonna have a run here. As you can see on the outside there, he's got the overspeed. It's another slight left hand and into a hard left-hander, so he's gonna have to hang it around the outside. Let's see if he tries to go for it. Martinello, last of the late breakers, and for now holds on to that position. So let's take a look and see how close he got to the yellow line there. So he's gonna I don't know if he's dummying right, because there's a little bit of jitter from the connection there, but it does look like he kind of went on the yellow line there. No harm, no foul. PRT Walter gave him the room there, and that could just be a little bit of net code, but they are in a situation now, you know, where they're still fighting, and you know, Walter, you know, it's not like you have to give up, man. You can fight back and get this position back. It's not the end of things. You know, all it takes is one penalty, right? And you know, we're going into the bus stop again right now, and you know, like I said, one mistake from one Italian gives the advantage to the other Italian. So let's see here. It looks like it's nice and tidy for both of them, right? You gotta get a single tire on the yellow triangle, and it looks like they both did that there. So, you know, kudos to them for getting that done. Let's check on some other situations here. We have Medway Racing, Irish Tony here. You know, again, just maintaining the gap, and oh my goodness, commentator's curse. Got that half-second penalty that he's got to serve, but you know, he's got quite a sizable gap behind, and Jolly Rancher serving a penalty too. So it looks like Jolly Rancher might end up having to, you know, move aside here if the Medway Racing number 8 GTR can catch them. Moving further down the grid, we have quite a gap, and oh my goodness, I'm not sure what happened to Sector 7 Racing Phoenix here, but that gap has ballooned. The last time we looked at this one, Race Asylum 1 was just, I want to say they were like 32 seconds ahead, right? And that has since ballooned up to 58 seconds. So, you know, I'm not too sure what happened here, but Cole Trickle has himself in a situation with P1 Scuderia. Ooh, as Scuderia finds himself getting a little bit loose there. Situation where he's facing a blue flag here from Scuderia, and yeah, there. Sorry, 48 seconds. Sorry, yes. It's getting late. It's almost 2 a.m. where I am. Yeah, he's finding himself in a situation here, and it also looks like this has negatively affected Scuderia, the leader here in the transatlantic racing car. This gap has definitely come down as we reach the end of the stint. Previously I had said that it never dipped below 30 seconds, never above 35, and it's now currently sitting at 29.6 seconds. So, you know, this is not necessarily good for Scuderia. This is the type of situation that you don't want to find yourself in, but unfortunately you don't really have a choice right now, because you're not necessarily close enough to, you know, invoke the blue flag rules. Not quite yet, but you know, if you keep pushing, then you know we should be in a situation where he can get out of the way soon, so that way he doesn't continue to lose time to P2 just under 30 seconds behind. Looking at Bradders here, in the other BMW, it's looking like, again, he has a sizable gap in front, sizable gap behind. But if you look behind him, there's somebody approaching. I can't remember who that is in the Lexus there behind. Is it? Let's see. I'm gonna guess. Nope. P7 Steve-O. Okay, so Steve-O's there trying to unlap himself. So that means Steve-O got himself away from a situation where I think he was trying to unlap himself again. But you know, looking at this situation here, Scorpion, right, who was on the two-stop strategy, right? Scorpion was on the two-stop strategy. He came out of the pits. He was only 7 seconds behind Salamander. Now he finds himself 19.2 seconds behind Salamander. So it's looking like either it's the strategy, the car, the driver, or some combination of the three has played a significant factor in this gap widening. Salamander just in in the 9 or so laps since Scorpion came out of the pits, has almost tripled the gap. And then looking at Salamander here, we see that he's not quite closing the gap on P11, but he's already done his team like a solid here in being able to gain a position in the stint despite starting a minute behind who is now P13 in Scorpion. And then lastly, just looking at Jolly Rancher here, just carrying on and doing their own race. The last time I looked at them must have been like, oh man, I gotta say maybe like 20 laps ago, and they were 15 minutes behind the leader, and they've done well to minimize those losses, right? They've run into lap traffic situations in which they were trying to gain a lap back, situations in which they had to yield to the blue flag. And Jolly Rancher here has delivered consistent laps. For the most part, there was obviously probably a penalty there. I think we did see the end of that penalty, which is why the 147.283 is there. But the 145s, consistency, and that can minimize your losses for sure. So, bravo to Jolly Rancher for, hanging in there and, carrying this forward to hand to the next stint. And, with 8 hours of racing after this remaining, we will see if an opportunity presents itself for the 10/10ths team to get themselves out of P14 and a little bit up the grid. Now looking back at the front, Scuderia has managed to get past the Sector 7 Racing Phoenix team. Right, and the gap is currently sitting at 30 seconds, which is good for them. Now they have at least a little bit of free air, as you can see the wide shot there going across turn 4. It seems like for maybe the next 5 laps, until they come back into the pits, it seems like it's smooth sailing, and you just really want to just focus on not getting any penalties and not racking up any damage or anything that would be a negative to the team, so that way you can hand off to your counterparts at the Transatlantic team in stint 9. Thanks, Dio. Thank you for deploying that like. Good morning, Jay. Yeah, so then, moving on to that situation, Skyline here as, the rapid increase of pace kind of has slowed down a little bit. He's certainly on a charge, Skyline that is, to unlap himself from both P2 to P1 to get himself back on the lead lap. That is an accomplishment in itself. So, it shouldn't be upsetting to Skyline and his teammates at the Aero V2 endurance team. Skyline has done some seriously heavy lifting this stint. So bravo to him, getting his team back on the lead lap and handing his team a situation where in eight hours, that's way more than enough time, right, to get himself back into contention to maybe even outright win this thing, depending on how things shape up. Yes, this is split 2 of the Gran Turismo endurance series. So I was a racer, for split 1, right? And I actually raced at this time, and yes, 10th. Yeah, so I was a racer in split 1. And split 2 is the next 14 teams that did not qualify for split 1. That's what we're watching now. There's not an official broadcast for IRO. However, I'm the race director for stint 8. So I am I'm just commentating on the side. in addition to my race director responsibilities. And so far, again, knock on wood, all 14 teams have completed 60, well, close to 60 laps so far, right? The lead lap is a little bit further ahead, but you know, everybody has maintained a stable connection. I don't see too much jitter. Hopefully the drivers are having a good experience too. Oh, my split one. Our team ended up finishing in sixth. We worked our way up to fifth through the night. Unfortunately, we ran up against a former World Tour driver in the final stint who ran us down from over a minute behind over the course of 2 hours. But you know, P6 was, you know, a solid showing, especially from, you know, where we ended up, where we started, you know, not too far before that. We had a couple of incidents. I think we had a disconnect as well, which set us back. By the time it had come to stint 8, where I was driving, I think we were fighting for P8, P9, something like that. And then, you know, stint after stint, there was consistency. But let's take a look further down the grid. We have Bradders here, right? You know, a little bit ahead of Scorpion, who's got a little bit of a situation going on behind him. And Steve-O again has been making moves all stint, moving through the grid, unlapping himself in several situations. And you know, we have a double blue flag situation here, right? So we have Steve-O with Scorpion in front, and I'm not sure if we can make that out behind, but I do believe that's Jay Sierra behind P2, if I have that correct. But we can check in the next bus stop if they get close enough. We'll see. So it's a situation where you definitely, oh my goodness, oh no, it's P9 behind. So Scorpion's gonna have to yield twice to Steve-O and to Hansa. So Steve-O in the Lexus of the oh man, it's getting late. Sorry guys. Trying to make out that car number here, but I was gonna say him and the Race Asylum number 9 Corvette. Yeah, definitely late shift vibes, man. I'm trying to hang on, guys. Trying to hang on. It's I don't even know if I talk this much when I live stream, to be honest with you guys. I definitely stream for as long as this, but definitely not at this time. And definitely don't talk as much as I am right now, but you know, I'm hanging in there for the next couple laps. So looking at Jolly Rancher, oh my goodness, did this just happen? Oh no. Oh my goodness, exit of the bus stop. Oh, no. That is so tragic. Right at the end, too. All right, well, you're just going to have to, you know, pick yourself up, get in the pits, fix the damage, and, you know, carry on, you know? All right, so we're looking at lap 68 of 69. 68 of 69. What's up, vlog? Good morning. No problem, Arrow. So he's just trying to bring this in, and you know, even with Cole Trickle behind him, you know, from Sector 7 Phoenix, you know, he's managed to build that gap up, even if just a little bit, to P2 here. You know, it was sitting at 29 seconds. He, you know, increased the pace a little bit here and got it up to 33.2. And yeah, you know, a good showing, right? They overtook the Infinite Octane team at towards the middle of stint 7 and held on to that lead. In fact, increased it by about 10 seconds over the stint, right? Which is impressive. You know, it's not like we're talking about P1 versus P2 here. So drivers of this, you know, very similar caliber fighting each other. You know, you're not going to expect too much more than that unless, you know, mistakes are made, which Scuderia did not make many mistakes, and he had plenty of opportunities to do so, because, you know, of all the battles of, you know, well, let's be honest, some faster cars like the P3 of Skyline, the P4 of Oh Man, who, you know, unlapped themselves in this situation. And Cole Trickle's, you know, no slouch. He's trying to unlap himself right now, you know, despite Scuderia being on the last lap. But he's held on to it, and you know, he's gonna hand his team off. You know, knock on wood, nothing else happens this lap. He's gonna hand his teammate in stint 9 a good sizable lead that they can build on. And hopefully, you know, at the end of the next 8 hours, you know, they can declare themselves the victors of round 1 in split 2 of the IRO Gran Turismo Endurance Championship. Right, take all those points to the bank. So, coming towards the bus stop for the final time. You know, I'm sure it's one more gasp right here, and then one more sigh of relief, because it's just put your foot down, go in the pits. All right, well, make sure you go in the pits. we don't want any mishaps here. Actually, you should probably pay attention to this. Make sure you go in the pits. Yes. Okay, and then get ready to hand off to your teammate. Once the car stops, I'm just gonna stay here until the car animation happens, right? Because as part of my race director duty. All right, just make sure everyone's in there. You're a busy man, Flawed. You're a busy man. What can I say? Okay, so Scuderia is in the pits. Jay Sierra just entered the pits. Okay, 32 seconds behind. Skyline is making his way into the back straight now. Man, what a race! You know, there are definitely moments there. And you know, no lead is safe. Look at what's happening here with Skyline and Oh Man. They're only 30 seconds apart, just like the distance between P1 and P2. So, you know, everything's in play here as we hand off to stint 9. What I'm gonna try and do is find a link here. See if anybody is streaming that. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna post the link in here, and what we're also gonna do is I'm gonna pin this here. So as this stint ends, feel free to click this link to go over to watch stint 9. Right, I'm gonna pin that there, and then we're also gonna set up the broadcast to go directly over to those guys. All right, so you can watch uninterrupted. All right, let's see. Okay, as Oh Man goes into the pits, another stint completed. Now we're gonna stick with Martineo here in the number 16 Alexis of the Vez Racing Team. You know, very good stint by him, getting up to P5. You know, making moves, man. Several moves being made by a lot of drivers here. You know, a lot of heavy lifting was done this stint. So, you know, pat on the back for, you know, all of these guys and gals and NBs for, you know, delivering results for their teams. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not only just, you know, the fastest lap here by Oh Man, right? It's not just that. Like, several of these drivers are running 144s. Several of these drivers dipped into the 140, 143. So, you know, it's quite a scene. Quite a scene to see where, you know, the talent level doesn't necessarily dip. When you're talking about different splits. You know, a fun fact about the qualifying to get into stint 1 is that P1, well, let's say P2 to P14, you know, was much less than a second. You know, the competition was so stiff that, like, you know, any one of these teams, like, had they gotten like one more corner incorrect, they wouldn't have been in split 1. Let's see here. I'm gonna set this up right now as we watch the Vez team make their way into the final sector. Then what we're gonna do here is add a redirect. Yes, they do. And then once they're all in the pits, then I'll let them finish their lap, and the stint will come to a close. So yeah, we're just waiting for that now. So if you guys want to get on to the next stint, because the first 6 drivers are probably already out, you can click that link that's pinned in chat and go check that out. Obviously, if you want to stay here to the end, see your teammates or whoever you're rooting for make their way to complete their stint, you know, I'm more than happy to have you guys here. But yeah, I mean, some good racing. We saw several complicated blue flag situations, several overtaking opportunities, some unfortunate accidents, you know, some pit stop mistakes. You know, it all happens. It all can happen. So you got to keep your head on a swivel, man. And you know, that just carries on into the next stint. Yeah, no driver interviews. Although they do have something set up to do that. But I guess maybe that'll be for 2026 for them. Okay, let's move on to P8. So Greta, aka Irish Tony, making their way. Bus stop last time, Medway Racing League, solid P8. No, not maybe not the ideal stint that he wanted, but you know, he's kept his team in it, right? And that's what matters. You know, keep your team in the fight until we get to the end. You know, nothing is set in stone in stint 8. You can't win the race in stint 8, but you can certainly go a long way to lose it in stint 8. So, you know, good job by MRL to, you know, keep themselves in the fight. Hansa there again, you know, JP with the beautiful neon reflective looking like livery. Pretty dope creation by him. painted proudly on that Corvette of the Race Asylum #1 team. Oh, did he just, that might be a pen, but you know, sizable gap in front and behind. Yeah, half-second pen, but you know, just get yourself into the pits. Wait for everybody else to join, collect your credits, and you know, call it a night or a day. Well, in Germany, call it a morning. Go get some breakfast. But for Cole, go get some sleep. As it does not matter where in the United States you are right now. It's bedtime in the United States, unless you're in Hawaii or Samoa, American Samoa. It's definitely bedtime. So, yes. And the charge starts from here, man. You know, like, listen, I was saying before, Nuke, you know, you could definitely make up over a minute easily in a stint if you just have a solid performance. So, you know, Sector 7 Racing Phoenix is far from it. They can be born again like a phoenix and make their way up the pack. Now, moving down to the 777, the lucky 777, or you know, maybe not so lucky this time around, of the Team Rad. Bradders, you know, had not the best race, so to speak, but you know these things happen. But however, crucially, the gap to P12 behind stayed relatively consistent. Actually, I would say it might have increased a little bit to Salamander MN behind, but you know, holding on to a position is already tough to do, especially when you have pressure of other cars trying to overtake you, being on the lead lap, so like P1, P2, P3, being on the lead lap. You know, it's really tough to hold on. So, you know, kudos to Bradders for doing that. Have a good night, Nuke. Yeah, so coming around out of the infield for the last time goes Bradders. Sure, he's just like, one more bus stop, and then I'm done. I can put the controller down, or I can turn the wheel off, turn off the PlayStation, have a cup of tea or something. And no, I did not say that because he has the Union Jack. Just saying, it's the morning. Some people drink tea in the morning. I happen to drink coffee, but you know, some people drink tea. Yeah, bringing that second BMW back to the pits. You know, for the last time, I won't say anything negative about BMW, but you know, hopefully his teammates can you know, continue the fight and get them you know, a result that they're looking for. Now we move on to Salamander. I feel like it's been a while since we took a look at his race, but he's just starting his final lap, getting about halfway through the infield, proving, or at least appearing to prove, that the one-stop strategy has some viability here in the Porsche here, the number 71 Porsche of the Full Throttle Racing team. Those are your words, those are not my words. But I did bring up before, I don't know if you had joined chat yet, that even in split 1, Overboost Racing team, the champions from last year who were using the BMW, did not fare too well in that car around here. You know, finishing quite a few laps down, actually, which is not something you would expect of a defending champion. But again, this is Daytona. The next round is Bathurst, so you know, you might see a BMW resurgence. you know, as a driver in Split 1, I hope not, because that's not the car I drive. But in Split 2, you know, I'm pretty neutral. All right, so Salamander into the pits, handing it off. Good stint by Salamander, and Scorpion, you know, who did well. He had all the challenges thrown at him and thrown at his team, with a disconnect that ended up having them set back to 10 minutes, almost 11 minutes behind the leader at the start of the stint, and then running into an unfortunate situation. I think we saw back-to-back pit stops on back-to-back laps. Maybe there was a miss fuel, and then you can see right now there's front damage and front right wheel damage that occurred somewhere. Not sure where, but it occurred somewhere. So, you know, perhaps a stint that, you know, maybe a little bit of a stint to forget. However, just as the case for all the other drivers, there's still 8 hours left, so there's still an opportunity. The things that happen to Scorpion here could happen to, you know, any other team at any point, at any time in the next 4 stints. That would put the One Community by SBR team back into the thick of things. So, you know, now's not the time to hang your head. Now's the time to, you know, fight through and push forward and hand the keys off to the next driver. And last but not least, we have Jolly Rancher really thrown quite a difficult situation, right? Trying to climb back into the thick of things, starting at a heavy disadvantage, and, you know, some, you know, really unfortunate events culminating in a spin out at the exit of the bus stop, which is, you know, quite treacherous for, you know, a lot of drivers, and an impact that was hard enough to create engine damage. So, you know, it's really just unfortunate situation after unfortunate situation happening to Jolly Rancher here. You know, sometimes these things can't be avoided. Sometimes you just come out and, you know, it just doesn't line up the way that you expect it to. But it's not always, you know, how you get, you know, it's not always getting knocked down, it's how you get back up, right? That's what they say, right? So, you know, it's time to hand the keys over to the next 10 tenths member and see how exactly they respond to this adversity, right? That's what's important here. And even if they don't get the result that they want in this race, this is just round one. Just round one. Okay, so, you know, Bathurst is not too far away, and in fact, for Split 1, it's next weekend. So, you know, these races come fast and furious, and you know, there's always an opportunity to come back. And Scuderia, now to ice your race. Yeah, at this point, I'm not even processing what I'm saying. So, you know, I think I was lucky to get this far, but, you know, I'm gonna sleep like a rock in a couple minutes here. But yeah, good race for everyone all around. And you know, honestly, I gotta say, big shout out, huge shout out, okay guys, huge shout out to the internet for holding up, because we had disconnects all over the place. Okay, had disconnects all over the place, and you know, we didn't have any disconnects this stint. Just saying, all 14 drivers made it. Oh man. Okay, so with that being said, guys, if you want to watch the next stint, there's a link pinned in chat. Okay. GG's, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you want to watch Stint 9, click that link that's pinned in the description. Give Mike some love. He's doing the hard work behind the scenes of race directing, and he does so very often between Stint 1, Split 1 and Split 2. So, you know, go ahead and show him that love, and you know, I'll be checking that video out when I wake up in the morning, because I'm a little bit too tired now. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. You know, shameless plug here. If you enjoyed this 2 hours of racing, if you tolerated my commentary, because I don't do commentary very often, be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel, man. You know, I do some racing here and there. I do some live streams here and there, and there's this thing called NRO that's coming up in a little bit, but more details on that later. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to the IRO for allowing me to participate as a race director, and allowing me to share this experience with you guys. Give Split 2 a little bit of love, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Go ahead and click that link if you want to watch those guys. But that's it for me, man. I'm out of here. Yeah, I don't know about that. I can't hold a candle to you, Vlad, and to all of you guys who do NRL comms. But yeah, with that, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys. I don't know when, but I'll see you guys when I wake up or something like that. Anyway, have a good night, have a good morning, have a good evening, whatever time of the day, week, whatever. I'm exhausted. Take care. Peace.